This is Gibraltar Today. We're going to speak to a man who knows a thing or two about our airport now. Good afternoon to John Goncalves, the Gibraltar Amateur Basketball Association, to play in the Spanish basketball competitions after a long break, John.
Good afternoon, Jonathan. Thank you for having me here. Yes, 13 years. We played, you may remember, for a spell of 8 years, very enjoyable, very successful, until politicians put a spoke in the wheel and we went out. It's always been my ambition to return because it was very good for the development of our sport. And within my FIBA channels, I kept politely pestering the Spanish presidents throughout, and nothing much came about until the current president, a lovely lady called Elisa Aguilar, who I know from her playing days, finally told me, yes, I'm going to pass you through to the Andalusians because that's where you'd play, and we'll open the door for you come 2025. So
Excellent.
Here we are, and in a month's time, the competition starts, so we are gearing out for our second spell, hopefully a long spell.
So GABBA took part in the Cadiz Provincial League from 2004 until 2012,
Correct.
and you said then politicians put a stop to that? Spanish politicians?
Not directly.
Okay.
Spanish politicians, yes, of course. Oh, yeah. Not directly, but we subsequently knew that the opposition came from two clubs, and we then we investigated, and we found that those two clubs had been got at by politicians from their towns. And basically what they wanted is to not play here. They said that because we're not in the province of Cadiz, and we're not, that we should be treated exactly the same as Ceuta, because Ceuta are not in the province of Cadiz, yet they play in this competition. But if a team doesn't want to go to Ceuta, Ceuta has to come across and play their home game in Algeciras. And they wanted us to do the same. But it was only two teams. But unfortunately, the way that the Spanish run their annual general meetings is that they start and then the people get their bit in on the meeting. They go away, and eventually from maybe 30 starters, at the end there are 3 or 4. They carry on until all business is finished, regardless of quorum. They don't have quorum or anything like that. So when these two brought it up, there were only 3 present, and amazingly, they got their way. And the next morning I was told, look, this has happened, and from now on, we have to put in, not for every team, for anybody who doesn't want to come here. And we felt at the time that was most unfair, and that we wanted to have a level playing field, and since we were paying the same fees and so on. And all other teams agreed with us. Unfortunately, all those other teams weren't present when the...
I don't know if I agree. I don't need to take a position on the Ceuta question, but clearly there's a big stretch of water between Spanish mainland and Ceuta, where there isn't with Gibraltar. Gibraltar's a coach journey away just the same, no?
And for example, if we were to play our home games in La Línea, the gym in La Línea and the gym in Gibraltar are probably closer than where I live to the gym in Gibraltar. They are so close. Mm-hmm. And now, hopefully, with an even more fluent frontier, it will happen. But anyway, that's in the past. We're now going ahead, and
so it's good news. Tell us why the competition is important for Gibraltar's young players, because it's what is it? You're starting, bless you, you're starting with under 18 boys, under 16 boys and girls, under 14 boys and girls.
Yes, it's very important because in the past few years we've noticed that our standard at youth level has been dropping in relation or in comparison to the people that we have always competed with, San Marino, Monaco, Malta, Andorra, and so on. They play in this kind of competition in their neighboring countries. They are subjected and exposed to more modern basketball than we are. We seem to be in a comfort zone where we play our games here, but we don't do a lot of stuff which nowadays is basketball has a lot of strength and conditioning and that kind of thing. And by playing every week in, week out, and being able to play in competition other than against the same boys, same girls, that's not to say that we're going to completely abandon basketball here for children. And I'd like to say something before we end on that score. But when we played those 8 years, we won a gold in the under 16. We won, I think it was 2 silvers as well in under 18 and under 16. So that was the living proof that playing there raised our standard, yeah.
And you wanted to say something more on how the playing in the Cadiz Provincial League will complement, presumably, local basketball?
Yes. When we played for those 8 years, we unwittingly relied more on the elite to be able to participate as, and I'm ashamed to say, we neglected the other children who weren't considered good enough to play. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, and we are changing our youth system. We are revamping our youth system to have an academy-style basketball for those children without neglecting the clubs. But it's going to be looking ahead as opposed to quick results, quick wins. I'm not going to say anything else because tomorrow we are launching this system to all the youths between the age of boys and girls between 12 and 18, their parents, the clubs, at a big presentation in the theatre of the Macintosh Hall, 6 o'clock tomorrow, and all of them are most welcome to attend.
Exciting.
And see what we're up to.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck with that, John. Right, so I wanted to ask, will the teams play as GABBA, a different name?
As GABBA.
Gibraltar Amateur Basketball Association.
Yeah, but it goes as the anagram, GABBA. That's how we're known in the province anyway.
Sure.
I don't know whether I can say this, but it will cost a lot of money. And
because there's coach trips and...
Well, not that much coach trip because we are going to get it within ourselves. We're going to do it within ourselves. But the fees, the insurance, the medical examinations, the kits which teams must wear, is going to cost us about £20,000 thereabouts, about £4,000 a team.
Wow!
And we've got great response from 3 sponsors, and a major sponsor is SEPSA Gibraltar, and 2, shall we say, secondary sponsors are Ibex Insurance and Zappo Bank, and we are eternally grateful for their help.
Well, I suppose without the financial support, it makes it difficult to contemplate, no?
Probably impossible. Yeah.
And young basketball players stand to gain considerably.
Absolutely. We're talking about minimum 60. 5 teams at 12 a team. If you give me 30 seconds before you kick me out, I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish my good friend Moira Gomez and the Netball Association organization, which is an enviable one, which is one that certainly is a role model. I'm not going to say for other sports, but certainly for my sport, and the team who have worked so hard. Wish them all the best in the coming week of the Under-21 Netball World Cup. And this comes from me and from all my members at GABBA.
That's great, and it is a massive project that they've taken on, but they're really approaching it with great energy and gusto. We'll be talking much more about that in the coming days. But before we let you go, John, you said you couldn't really say too much about the academy side of things. But can you tell us who's coaching the teams that are going into the Cadiz Provincial League?
Who's coaching the teams? There are teams for each team. There's a coach, an assistant coach, and a team manager in each team. So we've got 15 people in all. And they're all qualified local coaches. This relaunch that we are doing is being headed by a Catalan coach who's been with us for 6 years now, almost 7 years, since the Island Games in 2019, in fact, who he lives in Barcelona, has his club in Barcelona, but comes to Gibraltar once a month. And he declined our offer of technical director because he feels that the technical director must be on the spot, not long distance. And he was then given the title of development officer, chief development officer. And we asked him to take charge of all this.
Great assets, no?
And he's appointed Tima Sopardi as a men's technical director and Monica Brown as a women's technical director. And they have got a team together, which in my many years in GABBA, I have no hesitation in saying is the best setup coaching-wise that we've had ever. Not in a long time, ever.
That's great. Well, great platform to build from. John Goncalves, President of the Gibraltar Amateur Basketball Association, thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure being with you.
And we look forward to catching up with how the participation in the Cadiz Provincial League goes for Gibraltar's teams. This is Gibraltar Today.